Level 1. The Selected. You are 26 years old, and you have just been handed a security clearance that most generals will never see. It doesn't feel like power. It feels like a leash being attached very quietly around your neck. Your first office is small. The walls are concrete. There are no windows. You are told this is standard. You believe it because you don't yet know what standard means here. Your job title doesn't exist on any organizational chart accessible to the public. When your family asks what you do, you say administration. They accept this. They have learned, somehow, not to press. You process documents. You verify numbers. You move files from one secured folder to another. The work is procedural, almost boring, but occasionally a file crosses your desk with a classification level that makes your throat tighten. You don't read past the first paragraph. Not yet. You are being watched. Not obviously. Not with cameras you can see. But you feel it the way you feel weather changing. Something atmospheric. Something in the air pressure of the room. You keep your head down. You arrive early. You leave exactly on time. After 3 months, a senior officer passes your desk and nods. That nod means more than any performance review ever written.
Level 2. The Trusted. You are moved to a different floor. The elevator requires a secondary key that only 12 people in the building carry. You are now one of 13. The work changes. You are no longer processing. You are briefing. Twice a week, you stand in a room with men whose names you recognized from classified reports, and you tell them what you know. You are precise. You are concise. You never speculate aloud. You learn the first real rule of this world. Information is not power. Controlled information is power. What you choose not to say matters more than what you say. Your salary increases by 40%. No ceremony, no explanation. The number simply changes one morning. You move apartments. You stop using certain apps. You delete old contacts without being told to. You just know. You begin to understand that loyalty here is not emotional. It is structural. You are loyal the way a load-bearing wall is loyal, not because it chooses to be, but because the entire architecture depends on it. You meet someone at a state dinner whose handshake lasts exactly 1 second longer than normal. You remember his face. You file it.
Level 3. The Operator. There is a program. You are not told its full name. You are told only your section of it, a compartment within a compartment. This is called need-to-know architecture, and you now understand why it exists. Not to protect the mission, to protect the system from its own people. You begin traveling, never with a full itinerary, never with the same documents twice. You carry a phone that is wiped every 48 hours. You meet people in airports, hotel lobbies, government buildings in cities whose names you are instructed not to write down. You are facilitating things. You tell yourself this is different from deciding things. For now, that distinction holds. You are good at this, measurably, quietly, undeniably good. And in this world, competence is the most dangerous thing you can display, because once they know you are capable, they never stop finding uses for you. You clear $180,000 in a year, and none of it is listed under your real employment. It moves through structures so layered and clean that even you find it difficult to follow. You stop trying. You sleep fine. This surprises you.
Level 4. The Inner Mechanism. You are brought into a room you have never been briefed about. There are 6 people. You recognize 2 of them from photographs you were never supposed to have seen. Nobody introduces themselves. This is not a meeting. This is an assessment. They ask you one question. You answer it. They look at each other. You are in. You now understand that the official hierarchy, the ministers, the generals, the committees, is a performance. A necessary one, but a performance. The real decisions are made here, in rooms that don't exist in any building plan, by people who hold no title that appears on any website. You are now part of the mechanism. Your job is to ensure that the performance continues flawlessly.
that the generals believe they have authority, that the ministers believe they are informed. You manage perception at the highest level. The psychological shift happens quietly. You stop seeing institutions as structures and start seeing them as instruments. The parliament is an instrument. The military chain of command is an instrument. The press is an instrument. You play them without thinking about it. It becomes reflex.
Level 5. The architect's hand. The program you once saw only a section of, you now see all of it. It is larger than you imagined. It involves 7 countries, 4 decades of infrastructure, and decisions that were made before you were born. You are not its creator, you are its inheritor. And inheriting something this large means becoming responsible for every part of it, including the parts that were buried. You make your first decision that costs someone their freedom, not their life. You tell yourself this distinction matters. It does not stop you from sleeping. That is the thing that frightens you most, not the decision, but how unremarkable it feels. You begin to understand isolation not as loneliness, but as architecture. The higher you climb, the fewer people can exist at your level. Not because they are excluded, because the atmosphere is different up here, thinner, colder. Most people physiologically cannot function at this altitude. You have adapted. You don't know exactly when that happened.
Level 6. The authority. There are now people in this system who have never met you and are terrified of you. This is not an exaggeration. Your name, not your real name, but the name attached to your function, circulates in certain circles as a signal. When you request a file, it arrives within the hour, regardless of where in the world it originates. When you attend a meeting, the dynamic of the room changes before you speak. You have not raised your voice in 4 years. You don't need to. You have sat across from foreign intelligence chiefs and said nothing for 90 seconds and watched them become visibly uncomfortable. Silence, at this level, is a precision instrument. Your decisions now affect systems, not individuals, systems. You think in decades. Your personal life is a managed construct. The people in it are known quantities. This is not cruelty, it is mathematics. You cannot afford an unknown variable at this proximity. You remember, briefly, what it felt like to not calculate every relationship. You file the memory. You move on.
Level 7. The untouchable. There are 3 people in this country who know your full scope of authority. One of them is the head of state. He defers to you on certain matters. You do not enjoy this. Enjoyment is a texture that has gradually left your experience. What remains is function, precision, and a deep structural satisfaction when the system operates correctly, when contingencies activate on schedule, when a crisis is managed before it becomes visible, when a decision you made 2 years ago produces the exact result you mapped. You are worth more to this state functioning than you ever would be as a liability. This is your protection, not loyalty, not fear. Pure institutional mathematics. You have not been home, your childhood home, in 11 years. You have passed through the city its end twice. You did not stop. There was a version of you that existed before all of this. You can still locate him distantly, the way you can locate a star knowing its light is already ancient. He made different choices. He wanted different things. You do not mourn him. Mourning requires the belief that something better was possible. And you no longer carry that belief, not because it was taken from you, because you set it down, deliberately, at some level you can no longer precisely identify. It was the price of the next room. You paid it.
Level 8. The core. There is no ceremony for this. No title change, no handshake, no new office. You simply realize, one morning, reading a report that crosses your desk about a geopolitical event you set in motion 14 months ago, that there is no one left to report to about this particular matter. You are the final authority. Not the visible one. The visible ones are necessary and managed and replaceable. You are something else. You are the fixed point around which certain critical systems orient themselves. You are 61 years old. You eat the same breakfast every morning. 2 eggs, black coffee, a single piece of bread. You sit at a table near a window that overlooks a courtyard that no member of the public has ever entered. It is quiet, the kind of quiet that only exists when the noise has been architected out very deliberately. You are not happy. You are also not unhappy. Those are categories that belong to people who still believe the outcome of their life is undetermined. Yours was determined at every level by the choices you ratified, the costs you accepted, the rooms you chose to enter. You entered all of them. There is no version of you that exists outside the system anymore. The system and the self have become the same thing. Removing you from it would not free you. It would simply end both. You set down your coffee. You open the next file.